control through perception, power is rarely about what is real. It is about what others believe is real. And when it comes to women, as in politics, perception is everything. The most men enter a woman's presence as beggars. They rush to impress, to prove their worth, to win approval before it has even been asked of them. They speak too much, laugh too loud, lean too close. In their eagerness, they betray a single fatal weakness, the hunger to be liked. And a man who hungers is already conquered. You must understand, control begins the moment you are seen, not the moment you speak. Your first impression is not a greeting. It is a weapon. It announces to her subconscious, here is a man who must be obeyed, or here is a man who can be dismissed. A perception is not a mask you wear for one moment, but a stage you command every time she observes you. If you appear desperate, she will treat you as disposable. If you appear indifferent, she will wonder why you do not chase her like the others. This wondering is power. It is the birth of fascination. Now, do not misunderstand me. To control perception does not mean you must be flawless. No prince is flawless, and no man who rules the hearts of women is without weakness. Weakness must never be shown in ways that reduce your stature. Instead, weaknesses should be framed as mysteries, curiosities that deepen your character. If you are silent, let it not seem like fear, let it seem like calculation. If you are absent, let it not appear as rejection, let it appear as deliberate distance. Every fault, every gap must be cloaked in the robe of intention. That is the art of controlling perception. Consider this: women, like all people, do not truly see who you are. They see only fragments, your posture, your voice, your confidence, the way you hold silence. These fragments, scattered like pieces of glass, form a mirror, and in that mirror, they construct an image of you. That image will either elevate you into power or strip you into irrelevance. To dominate her mind, you must master that mirror. Do not give her every piece of yourself. Offer only enough to build intrigue, to force her imagination to complete the picture. What she imagines will always be more powerful than what is revealed. A Machiavellian man must cultivate an aura. An aura is not charm alone. It is not simple confidence. It is the subtle command of energy around you, a presence that demands attention without ever asking for it. Women notice these things instantly. They see the man who waits calmly while others rush. They hear the voice that speaks low and deliberate while others chatter nervously. They feel the silence that weighs heavier than words. These signals are not accidents. They are crafted, like the strategies of war. Do not be too available, for availability is the death of mystery. The sun shines every day, and no one marvels at it. But a rare eclipse, a rare phenomenon, this is remembered for centuries. So too must you treat your presence. Appear when it matters, withdraw when it does not. Your scarcity will shape her perception of your value. If you are everywhere, you are ordinary. If you are rare, you are priceless. Perception also depends on contrast. If all other men are eager, you must be restrained. All others flatter her endlessly, you must observe in silence. If all others confess desire, you must hint at it but never confirm. She must see in you not another voice in the crowd, but the exception. This contrast will burn into her mind and make her question why you are different, why you do not bow like the rest. The answer is simple: because you are not the rest. And once she begins to ask this question silently, you have already entered her thoughts. Remember, women are masters of reading signals, but they are also slaves to them. A small gesture, a steady gaze held too long, a pause before speaking, a half smile that fades before it is understood. These are not mere details. They are weapons sharper than blades. They communicate authority, detachment, and strength more than anything shapes perception. A man who appears strong, even if he is not, is treated as strong. A man who appears weak, even if he is not, is treated as weak. This is the cruel truth of human nature. You must decide which image you will command. And yet, to control perception is not only about what she sees. It is about what she does not see. You must never expose the full map of your mind. Keep secrets. Let there be doors in your character that are never opened. Mystery is the oxygen of desire, and when a woman cannot fully read you, she will attempt endlessly to decipher you. That attempt keeps her invested. That attempt keeps her loyal. That attempt keeps you in power. Therefore, when you speak to a woman, do not reveal your heart immediately. Speak in riddles that spark her curiosity. When you share a story, leave details missing, so she must ask questions. When you answer, never answer fully. Always leave an opening for imagination. The imagination is where you rule. Because the mind, once it begins to dream about you, cannot easily escape you. Perception is not truth. Perception is theater. It is a stage where you must play your part with cunning precision. Speak less, observe more. Offer glimpses, not explanations. Show strength, conceal weakness. Project indifference, cloak desire. In this performance, you are not simply a man seeking affection. You are the sovereign of her imagination, the ruler of her mind's theater. Emotional leverage. To rule a woman's mind, you must not fight her strength. You must master her emotions. For the heart is the true throne of power, and whoever governs it commands the whole kingdom. Every man believes he can impress a woman through wealth, through beauty, through charm. These are blunt weapons, and they rarely strike deep. They may win her attention, but they do not hold it. They may stir her interest, but they do not bind it. What binds a woman is not riches or handsome features. It is the subtle manipulation of her inner world. It is the mastery of her joys and her fears, her pride and her insecurities. When you hold these in your grasp, you do not merely attract her, you govern her. Women, like all humans, are creatures of emotion before they are creatures of reason. They may speak of logic, of plans, of ideals, but their actions betray their feelings. Desire will make her ignore reason. Fear will make her abandon caution. Affection will make her forgive betrayal. A Machiavellian man understands this eternal truth. Emotion, not intellect, is the lever of control. And the one who can pull that lever at will becomes the true master. The first step in emotional leverage is to observe. Do not rush to impress or seduce. Watch her carefully. Listen not to what she says, but to what she hides. Every woman reveals her vulnerabilities, though not always with words. It may be in the way she avoids a topic, the way her voice shifts when speaking of rivals, the way her eyes brighten at certain praise. These are signals, weak points in the fortress of her mind. Once you discover them, you possess the keys to influence. If she craves validation, give it rarely. If she fears abandonment, vanish at intervals. If she longs for safety, present yourself as her anchor. Each desire, each fear can be turned into a tool. The tool must be used with care. Too much pressure, and she will retreat. Too little, and she will not feel your hand. Balance is the art of rulers. Apply just enough force to remind her of your power, and withdraw just enough to keep her yearning. Understand that emotions are unstable by nature. They shift like the tides. And this is not a weakness. It is your greatest advantage. For the man who can control a woman's emotions today can control her actions tomorrow. When she is high, encourage her recklessness, if it serves you. When she is low, step in as her savior, and she will associate her relief with you. In both states, you are the architect of her feelings, though she believes them to be her own. That illusion, that her heart is free while you hold its strings, is the perfection of power. Do not make the mistake of flooding her with praise. Too much sweetness dulls the tongue. Praise her once, let her savor it, then withdraw it. This withdrawal plants doubt, and doubt ignites craving. She will seek once more the warmth you withheld, and in this pursuit, she becomes bound to you. Every addict is a slave to the hand that provides and withholds. You must become that hand. Equally, learn to use silence as an emotional tool. Words are powerful, yes, but silence is heavier. When she expects a reaction and you give none, her mind spirals. She begins to question herself. Did she say too much? Did she fail to please you? In that spiral, you are no longer speaking, yet you dominate her thoughts. This is emotional leverage at its most refined. Control without effort, influence without command. And then there is the art of contrast. Heart does not value what is constant. It values what is scarce, what is lost and returned. Give her laughter one day, and cold distance the next. Show affection in a glance, then withdraw into silence. Let her experience both pleasure and tension, security and uncertainty. This rhythm of rise and fall ensures she never rests in comfort. For comfort breeds complacency, and complacency breeds neglect. Keep her mind in motion, and you keep her chained to you. Remember also the weapon of fear. A woman does not need to be terrified to obey, only uncertain. The possibility of losing you, the suggestion that you may vanish, is enough to awaken anxiety. And from anxiety comes obedience. Do not threaten, for threats reveal desperation. Instead, imply, speak of other pursuits, other ambitions, other options. Let her imagine her own replacement, let her conjure her own rival. Her fear will do the work for you, and her loyalty will grow not from words but from the terror of absence. At the same time, you must know when to offer relief. No prisoner endures chains forever. They must be given food, water, glimpses of mercy. So too with emotional leverage. After periods of doubt, give reassurance. After moments of withdrawal, give warmth. The mind, starved and then rewarded, grows dependent on the hand that feeds it. She will not merely want you, she will need you. And need is the truest form of power. Emotional leverage is the art of weaving contradictions, give and take, soothe and wound, appear and disappear. You are not a steady flame but a shifting storm, and she is the vessel caught within it. Yet she will not curse the storm. She will seek it again and again, for the storm gives her life meaning. Without it, the sea is flat, dull, lifeless. With it, her heart beats faster, her thoughts revolve around you, her soul ties itself to your presence. Scarcity and withdrawal, that which is abundant is taken for granted, that which is scarce is worshipped. Power, therefore, is not in constant presence but in strategic absence. A man who gives himself freely loses his value. A man who is always available, always answering, always eager, no different from the air. Necessary, yes, but invisible women, like all people, are drawn not to what is easy, but to what is rare. They treasure the gem because it is scarce. They long for the forbidden fruit because it is withheld. They pursue the elusive prize because others cannot reach it. Scarcity is not simply a condition, it is a weapon. To dominate a woman's mind, you must not shower her with endless attention. That is the tactic of the weak, and the weak are forgotten. You must appear as though your time is precious, as though your presence is a privilege. Every encounter must feel earned, never guaranteed. This is the essence of scarcity. But scarcity alone is not enough. The greater weapon lies in withdrawal. To give and then take away creates a wound far deeper than never giving at all. When she tastes your presence and then you vanish, the absence gnaws at her. She replays moments in her head, questions what went wrong, seeks ways to reclaim what was lost. In that cycle of longing, you are reborn in her mind, not as a man, as an obsession. Think of it as the art of famine and feast. Feed her just enough to keep her alive, then starve her until she aches for more. Give her attention for a time, then retreat into silence. Offer intimacy, then withdraw into distance. Each return after absence will feel magnified, more powerful, more intoxicating. She will crave the return because she has felt the loss. Scarcity sharpens desire, withdrawal chains it to you. Do not mistake this for cruelty. It is strategy. Cruelty is wasteful, blunt, destructive. Scarcity and withdrawal are precise, surgical, designed to create value where none existed. A man who is scarce is not hated, he is pursued. A man who withdraws is not despised, he is remembered. And in memory lies control, for even in your absence you dominate her thoughts. Understand the psychology. When something is always available, the mind grows numb. It loses its shine. But when something disappears, the mind clings to it, searching for its return. This is why a lover who ignores is often more powerful than the one who worships. This is why a single unanswered message can weigh heavier than 1,000 replies. Absence is not emptiness, it is power in disguise. Women live in a world of abundance. They are pursued, complimented, offered affection daily. To stand out, you must not add to the noise. You must subtract from it. You must position yourself as the man who is not always there, the man who does not always answer, the man who is not easily won. In doing so, you become the rare element, the one she cannot predict or control. That unpredictability becomes intoxicating, for the human mind desires most what it cannot fully possess. And yet, scarcity must be crafted carefully. If you withdraw too much, you risk being forgotten. If you give too much, you risk being devalued. The balance is delicate, like the tightening and loosening of reins. Pull back just enough to create tension, then return to release it. Each cycle deepens the bond, strengthens the craving, and engraves your presence into her subconscious. Consider also the symbolic power of withdrawal. When you step back, you silently declare, "I am not dependent on you." This declaration, even unspoken, reshapes her perception. She may not admit it, but she will feel it. The sense that you are in control, you can walk away, that you are not enslaved by desire as other men are. This aura of independence magnifies your value, for women do not truly desire men who need them, they desire men who choose them. And choice, when rare, is irresistible. Withdrawal also creates contrast, and contrast breeds impact. A drop of water in the desert is a miracle. The same drop in the ocean is nothing. If you are always present, your attention is the ocean. Vast, overwhelming, unremarkable. If you withdraw, your return becomes the desert rain, rare, vital, unforgettable. She will wait for it, long for it, even suffer for it. And when it comes, it will not feel like ordinary attention. It will feel like salvation. You must also learn the timing of withdrawal. Do not retreat when she expects it. Retreat when she believes she has won you. Retreat when she feels most secure. This sudden absence destabilizes her. It forces her to question her control, to wonder what went wrong, to search for answers that only you can provide. In her confusion, she invests more of herself, more thought, more energy. And the more she invests, the deeper her attachment grows. Words as weapons, a blade cuts the flesh. Words cut the soul. A wound to the body may heal, but a wound to the mind can last a lifetime. This is why the tongue, when mastered, becomes sharper than any sword. The men squander their speech. They talk endlessly, throwing words like coins to the beggar's cup. They speak to fill silence, to impress, to please. But power is not found in abundance. It is found in precision. The man who wishes to dominate a woman's mind must treat his words not as idle chatter, but as weapons. Each one must be chosen, sharpened, and released with intention. For once spoken, words cannot be taken back. They lodge themselves in memory, shaping perception, planting seeds that grow long after the conversation has ended. When you speak to a woman, you are not simply conversing, you are constructing a reality for her. Your words decide whether she sees you as powerful or weak, as mysterious or predictable, as a man she can conquer or a man she cannot escape. The careless man allows his tongue to betray his insecurity. He flatters too much, reveals too much, or stumbles in eagerness. The Machiavellian man, however, speaks sparingly, but every phrase carries weight. He does not waste air, he invests it. The first principle of words as weapons is restraint. Speak less than others expect. In silence, your value grows, for people assign meaning to what is scarce. When she wonders what you think, when she leans closer to hear more, you have already seized control. Too much talking dilutes power, too little sharpens it. Even a simple sentence, delivered slowly and with certainty, will strike deeper than a flood of desperate explanations. The second principle is ambiguity. Do not reveal everything clearly. Suggest, hint, leave openings for her imagination. A vague compliment is more powerful than a direct one. If you say, "You are beautiful," you offer her nothing new. Every fool has said the same. But if you say, "There's something about you that unsettles me," you open a door. She must now ask, "What is it?" Her mind begins to labor for answers. Ambiguity forces her to participate in her own ensnarement. She imagines more than you reveal, and imagination is the most powerful ally of influence. The third principle is contrast. Your words must alternate between warmth and cold, between praise and challenge. Praise alone softens you into predictability. Challenge alone hardens you into cruelty. But the mixture, the unpredictable shift, creates tension. Tell her once that she fascinates you, and another time that she hides too much. Tell her she intrigues you, then say you are still unconvinced. Each contradiction unsettles her, destabilizes her, makes her hunger for your approval. Words are weapons not only in what they give, but in what they deny. Consider the art of storytelling. A story is not entertainment. It is architecture for the imagination. When you tell a story, you are guiding her thoughts, her emotions, her pictures of reality. Do not tell stories of weakness or defeat. Tell stories that frame you as decisive, as strategic, as unshaken. Tell of moments where others faltered but you remained calm. Tell of opportunities you denied because you valued yourself too highly. Every story plants a portrait of you in her mind, a man who chooses, who controls, who commands. And once that image is painted, she will treat it as truth. But words are not only for building, they are for cutting. A single phrase delivered with calm detachment can wound deeper than rage. If she attempts to test you, do not argue. Say instead, "You don't understand me at all." Then say nothing more. That single line, silence following, will strike harder than any defensive speech. It will force her to question herself, to doubt her hold, to chase your approval. That is the dagger hidden in restraint, the wound of uncertainty. Flattery must be rare, but when used, it must be surgical. Do not flatter what she hears from others, her beauty, her style, her charm. Instead, flatter what is hidden, what others overlook. Tell her she has a dangerous mind, or that her silence reveals more than her words. By naming the unseen, you elevate yourself above other men. She will feel exposed yet understood, and in that exposure lies intimacy. But remember, too much flattery rots into weakness. One rare, piercing compliment is worth 100 common ones. Words also shape rhythm. Speak slowly, pause deliberately, let silence linger between phrases. Do not rush to fill the gap, let her lean into it. Each pause magnifies what comes next, a blade drawn slowly before it strikes. The careless man rushes, fearing silence. The strategic man embraces it, for silence is pressure, and pressure makes words explode with greater force when finally spoken. And yet, your tone must match your intention. Do not speak like a beggar, do not rise in pitch like a boy. Your voice must be steady, low, unhurried. Even when joking, keep gravity in your tone. Words may be content, tone is the music they ride upon. A weak tone empties strong words of meaning. A strong tone gives even simple words the weight of command. Finally, know that words must be withdrawn as well as given. If she seeks answers, deny them. If she asks for promises, offer none. If she demands declarations, give silence. Denial is as powerful as delivery, for when she does not receive the words she craves, she will create them herself. She will imagine your affection, your interest, your intentions, and imagination once ignited binds her to you more strongly than truth ever could. Power above love. A man who chooses love above power will lose both, but a man who chooses power above love may find that love follows, bound and obedient. Men are trained from childhood to chase affection. They are told that to be loved is the highest prize, the greatest triumph. They are told that if they make themselves pleasing, if they soften their voice, if they surrender their pride, then love will reward them. But this is a lie whispered to weaken men, to strip them of their sovereignty. Love, when pursued, is fragile. It breaks at the first sign of discontent. It flees at the first shadow of doubt. It bends to every gust of emotion, loyal to none. Power, however, does not break. Power commands, and love, if it comes, arrives as its servant. You must understand the nature of love. It is fickle, it is unstable, it is conditional. A woman may adore you today and despise you tomorrow. She may worship you in your strength, but abandon you in your weakness. She may swear loyalty in passion, yet betray you in fear. If you tie your worth to her love, you hand her the power of your rise and fall. That is the greatest error a man can make. For he who depends on love becomes the slave of those who grant it. Power must always come first. A woman does not respect the man who bends himself for her affection. She respects the man who bends the world for his own will. She may smile at the kind, the obedient, loving, but she obeys the one who cannot be controlled. Respect and fear are the foundations of lasting influence. Love alone is smoke. It drifts, it fades, suffocates those who cling to it. But power is the fire beneath the smoke, the source, the heat, the true force that cannot be ignored. Consider the man who lives only for love. He sacrifices his ambitions to keep her pleased. He silences his own desires to avoid her displeasure. He lowers his head to keep her close. And yet in his submission, he becomes ordinary, predictable, disposable. She grows bored, she grows restless, she grows cold. His love does not save him, it destroys him. For no woman truly loves a man who has abandoned his own power. Now consider the man who places power above love. He does not chase, he does not beg, he does not yield. He chooses his path first and allows her to follow if she can. He keeps his pride, his ambition, his authority untouched. And though she may resist, though she may test, though she may rage, she will return. For she cannot escape the gravity of strength. Even if she does not admit it, she desires it. A woman will forgive arrogance sooner than weakness. She will forgive distance sooner than desperation. She will forgive cruelty sooner than cowardice. This is the harsh law of nature, and it is the law every Machiavellian man must obey. Power above love does not mean hatred. It does not mean coldness. It means that affection must always be secondary to respect. Love must never come at the cost of authority. You may give affection, you may give tenderness, you may give passion, but only from a place of strength, never from a place of need. For the moment you need love, you are lost. The moment you fear losing love, you are bound. And a bound man cannot dominate. The truth is simple: women do not trust the man who loves too easily. They trust the man who restrains his love, who guards it as something rare, something earned. They do not trust the man who swears eternal devotion, for they know his devotion costs nothing. They trust the man who can walk away, the man who can withhold, the man who holds his love like a weapon rather than a gift. Such a man is irresistible, for he cannot be controlled, and in the end, it is the uncontrollable who dominate desire. Think of kingdoms. A ruler who governs with love alone is doomed. His subjects adore him in good times but betray him when hardship comes. A ruler who governs with fear and respect endures. His people may not always love him, they will follow him. They will not dare betray him. Women, too, are kingdoms. They will adore the man who entertains them. They will obey the man they cannot sway. Do not confuse fleeting affection with lasting devotion. A woman may laugh with the jester, but she follows the king. She may flirt with the weak, but she binds herself to the strong. If you are the jester, you will amuse her today and be forgotten tomorrow. If you are the king, she will resist. She will challenge, she will test, but she will return. For the crown rests not on the head of the one she loves most, but on the head of the one she cannot command. Therefore, you must train your mind, never chase love at the expense of power. If love serves you, accept it. If it threatens your strength, deny it. If it comes to you, let it come because of who you are, not because of what you surrendered. For true love, if it exists at all, grows not from weakness but from dominance. And if it does not come, you remain powerful still. A man who places power above love is never enslaved by either. He remains sovereign, and in sovereignty, he finds not only respect but also the kind of devotion that endures. Not because it is begged for, but because it is commanded.